today I'm likely losing money because Counter-Strike is not the only game with cases featuring...
It's a Roscoe!
And today I have 7 games, including CS, that feature that system with marketable, exceedingly rare items, and I'm opening cases from each game, having a professional statistician calculate the probabilities and potential return on investment to see if any other games are potentially more profitable, but most importantly, giving into the degen lifestyle and hopefully not throwing 6 other games under the bus since Counter-Strike is involved in a lawsuit for case gambling. Zera and their 1% chance of legendary items are seemingly safe for now, but they seem to be caught in some other trouble. And I'm only going to be doing Kilowatt for Counter-Strike because I happen to have one and because you likely clicked this video already knowing about CS. I'm not going to waste your time. But for Counter-Strike, Kilowatt on average costs $2.91 to pick up the case and key to open it. And on average, every single time when you open one, you lose $1.53 since the average return is only $1.38. And you only have around a 5.5% chance to even unbox something worth more than you spent to unbox it, so it's not very good odds. And Kilowatt is not the worst case. Out of the 44 options, Kilowatt ranks the 34th on profitability. But even if you look at the most profitable case, which at the moment is Wildfire, you only have around a 10.7% chance to turn a profit when unboxing. So you're much better off just spinning a roulette wheel since you have a little bit less than a 50% chance to turn a profit there compared to the 5.5% of a Kilowatt case. The Kilowatt actually has around the same odds as if you just put all your money on 2 numbers on a roulette wheel, with a much lower expected payout. And you also likely know about TF2, and for example, the Crate Series 92, which I chose for this video, on average gives you $1.50 back for every $2.50 that you spend. But Case 92 is also an outlier because it has a strange crits Craig in it, which goes for around $200. But that only appears in Series 92 and also in Series 30. The Series 30 crates have a higher chance of pulling it, but they also go for around $345, which is more than the Crits Craig. And taking out the Crits Craig option from Crate 92 and making it just a more normal crate like you would see in the other series, on average you'd only get 50 cents back for every $2.50 you spent on boxing. But who knows, you also could get lucky with the Burning Flames Captain Hat since the 90s crates can drop any unusual effect, but you would need to hit a 0.024% chance, assuming you hit the 1% of an unusual. So not very likely, and Dota also features some crates like the Chest of Endless Days, but Dota's much better off than the other Valve titles in terms of cases since they feature various pity systems letting you get non-duplicate commons and an increasingly chance to pull the higher rarity ones. Similar to a pity system, and they also feature various other cases that have animations more in line with what we see in CS, but those cases as well feature some various form of pity systems. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the non-Valve titles. Let's go back to 2018. PUBG, when it was at its peak of 3 million players, released the Equinox Crate, and PUBG is no stranger to cases. They've had cases before it and will continue on to make even more in modern day, featuring animated skins with various pity systems. But the Equinox Crate was unique and featured a rarity no other case in PUBG has or had, because it has the Olive Branch Pan, a pan skin going for around $1,600 to $1,800, and it's been at that price for many years now, and PUBG has it even in the pause menu in game, and it's only obtainable from the Equinox Crate at a 0.0009% chance with no pity systems here. And those Equinox Crates don't even drop anymore. You can still pick one up for around 3 cents on the market and buy a $2.50 key to try your hand. However, the return on investment here is really bad. On average, you lose $2.40 out of the $2.53 it costs for you to unbox it, only walking away with a skin that's usually worth around 13 cents. With the only way for you to make your money back is if you hit the Legendary or the Olive Branch Pan, but the Legendary skin has a 0.16% chance and only goes for around $10. But that's 2018. Let's go back to 2015, a year after the release of Unturned. Back in 2015, with the economy update, they added mystery boxes for 99 cents, offering a variety of different items with a slim chance at mythicals that operate very similar to TF2, just a hat with a randomly rolled bonus effect. And all these years later, Unturned's still releasing new mystery boxes like the Dango map box, but I couldn't find the odds for this anywhere. There's some rumors that every single item in the case has the same odds to be pulled, so I set out to test that and bought 20 of them. And it seems like, at least in the corner here, it says that the mythics have a 3% chance, and after opening all 20, the data was not conclusive enough, and it was by no means an even spread, with me pulling a ton of dragon horns, but I also got a bunch of the rarest item in the box, or at least the rarest rarity of the box, making me believe that the odds would be similar for everything, but maybe I just got super lucky. And I also pulled one mythic, but it's only worth around $3. Only way you turn a profit here is if you hit that mythic item, since each item is worth less than $1, and your expected return when buying a box for $1 is only around 50 55 cents on average. And in addition to this, I also bought the newest crate, which features 24 items instead of the 14 that Dango had, to see the difference, and this one actually does show odds, but at the same time, those odds don't total up to 100%, they make 103%, which is more than what's statistically possible. And I also got a pink out of my first crate, which is supposedly a 5% chance, and that was my first try, so I have no clue what's going on with this game. Let's just move on to Zera. And Zera also has some pretty steep odds, and I guess my luck from Unturned ran out because they recently disabled purchases for maintenance last month, so I can't buy the crate, but I can still earn them. And after building a base and grinding up, I got a free crate, and the only crate that I can see in game is Season 8, and it does not seem like any of those cosmetics from the Season 8 crate is listed on the market. But assuming they're the same prices as the other guns from the other previous seasons with the same rarity color and everything, you would only have around a 1.1 chance to turn a profit on each case, costing around $1.20 if you bought it. And on average, you'd only receive around 15 cents back. But not every single case on Steam has abysmal odds, and there is a game where you are expected to turn a profit every single time you open a case. Killing Floor 2 has cases, also known as encrypted USBs, and I happen to have 1,439 of them in my inventory because a buddy traded them to me. It's a long story, but picking one at random, I opened one of my 304 Spitfire cases. Each one sells for around 3 cents on the market, and I got a precious version of the Spitfire first try, which is the rarest, ultra rare skin that you can get out of this, and it's a 10% chance to drop, which is actually pretty high. And guess how much it goes for? I'll give you a second and make a guess. If you said $57, you would be correct. And you're likely thinking right now, like I was, oh man, well, it's a dead game, nobody's gonna buy it. Somebody bought one a couple of days ago for 35 bucks, and there's a couple buy orders right now for 12. So I've made my money back and more, and these Spitfire cases are not the only ones like this. The Bone Crusher USB has the same odds with their ultra rare price, and it goes for around $33, and it sells for $33. But this means that the Spitfire case has a 25% chance to be profitable, with you on average making $4.4 on top of the original's keys price, which is insane and absolutely blows Counter-Strike and all the other games on this list out of the water. But at the end of the day, cases are just pretty much gambling with some pretty bad odds, and Killing Floor's price is this inflated because people in the community don't tend to open cases and gamble. Instead, they opt for buying the items directly, which is likely the smart thing to do. And if we ever see an influx of people opening cases, like if I decided to suddenly open my remaining 303 Spitfire boxes, that price would likely spike downwards since the demand for them is pretty low. And there's plenty more games featuring cases, however very few feature items with Steam inventory and market support like these 7. And other games like Payday 2 remove the case system altogether after all the scandals CS has been caught up in. Instead, you just have a chance at those case cosmetics being end-of-match rewards. If you're interested in learning more about 20 more titles that feature Steam inventory systems without cases, I invite you to check out another video of mine. Or if you like PUBG's pan and a loadout that would cost you $12,000 to complete, I got one of those as well. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.